Hi guys. So hopefully you can hear me. I wanted to come on and to talk about a couple of things concerning Kevin Samuels. This is going to be a quick video because I'm going to try to get to this video about Young Thug and Gunna before I go to sleep. Um, so the 911 call was released. And so I guess with this 911 call, we're confirming that this young woman was in fact there because some people want to argue that she wasn't there, that the person in the picture is not the person that was there. You can clearly hear the person has an accent. So I do believe that the person that was listed in that police report that the blogs posted was real. Um, who they got the information from, I don't know, but these people do have sources. Okay, they when they're telling you they have sources, they do have sources. Tasha K has sources. Armand apparently. So I think when people get familiar with these YouTubers, especially when they have the large platforms and they want to put people's business out, um, I guess they contact these people. I don't know how they knew who she was, but maybe the police report, the information that was posted was real. You know, even though I'm going to still say allegedly. I'm going to let you guys listen to the 911 call and then I'll come back.
Come on, think about your mom. Think about your daughter. Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1,
I'm sorry.
2,
There's
3,
there's
4.
I need to call the front desk to get an AED. He's not going to make it.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1. But ma'am, I don't want you to disconnect because something can happen while you disconnect now.
I understand, but I'm saying I need an AED. If they have one downstairs, I need to get them up here now.
Are you able
So
to get the neighbor, ma'am, real
I'm
quick,
going to
and
hang
ask
up
them
with
to help
you,
you?
or I hang up with you, or you call them in the front desk and give me a fucking AED right here now. He's turning blue. I cannot wait any longer.
House or apartment?
Oh my god, I don't fucking know. It's Kevin Samuels'
You don't know if it's a house or apartment?
Oh, it's an apartment.
Okay, what's the apartment number?
I know. I just need to give him CPR. Just please, just ask the front
You need an ambulance?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you listening?
Hold on, ma'am. I have to connect you with the ambulance.
It's Kevin fucking Samuels.
I understand, but I have to connect you with the ambulance.
Are you okay?
EMS was the address of your emergency. Is he awake?
No, he has an irregular rhythm. I can feel it. He's breathing in and out, but he has an irregular rhythm. It's probably his heart. So I need you to get here with the fucking.
In Atlanta. I'm up.
Stop
What's
him.
on my ma'am?
Come on, Kevin, you got it. Oh, come on, just try to breathe. Come on, you got it. Come on, think about your mom. Think about your daughter. Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, so you hear her saying, think about your mother, think about your daughter. So yeah. Um, but I told you guys, and somebody who was that I was listening to, they try to pretend like, oh, all these black women are listening. No, they're not. They're not listening to Kevin Samuels. Obviously, if you're saying you don't like someone, why would I run to come and listen to you? Do that make sense? If you're saying that I'm somebody, the type of person you don't like, so who was doing that? I think that was on Fox Soul. Was that Al? I think the night that Funky Dinero and they were talking about him, they're trying to push this whole narrative that all these black women were listening to him. And I told you guys this when he was alive. I felt like he was paying some of those women to sit there and let him berate them in that way. And I almost felt like maybe she was an audition as well, especially since the way he was talking to her about wanting to be on camera, not wanting to be on camera, in that clip. Um, it was possible that he was just taking this person back to his house to get her involved in one of those videos. That's also an option. I don't know. She hasn't spoke yet. I think the last I heard, she was saying something about hiring a lawyer. Because because there are some people out here, like I was telling you guys in the other video, that are doxing her and her family. Um, why, I don't know. There's nothing to prove that there was foul play involved in this. It's very possible that he went into cardiac arrest while she was there, and that's just what it is. Um, anyway, I also wanted to play what Derrick Jaxn had to say. I thought that he made a very valid point and a good state. I just think that it's a nice statement what he put out there. And Cynthia G as well. I think that there are certain people who understand and who know how long Kevin Samuels has been doing this, and certain people who he's had run-ins with, and we know the history, right? And so a lot of people ran over to her channel, even though, like she said, we don't owe Kevin Samuels any communication, right? We don't have to give any big statements about him passing or anything like that. And she doesn't have to do that. But people kept asking her how she felt about the situation, because I think she was one of the only YouTubers that he would say stuff about. Like, he would try to, he would say things, direct things to Cynthia G. And also, I guess he obviously, since Derrick Jaxn was giving relationship advice as well, with someone that he may have felt was competition for him. And so Derrick Jaxn issued a statement, I guess, a couple of days ago when all of this stuff came out. So I just wanted to play a bit. I'm not going to play the whole thing. If you want to listen to what he had to say, the full conversation, you can go over to his Instagram. It is posted over there. It's about 11 minutes long. I'm only going to play a couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes of what he had to say, kind of explaining his history with Kevin Samuel, because some people have history with him, and just how he felt about the situation. And I'll come back.
Encouraging, validating to a certain group, but there's another group who have experienced his content the exact opposite. And holding women accountable. How do you hold a woman accountable for being 35 years old and single and saying that they're leftovers? In which that was his most recent viral clip. Let's be real, let's not idolize the dead and just make them angels all of a sudden. Like, let's stop the gaslighting, okay? So for the women that fit into any of those groups, whether it was 35 and single and you called leftovers, or you're overweight so you call Big Shirley, or you average looking at best, or you're a single mother and you experienced his content in a really harmful, negative, demoralizing way, that group's experience with his content is just as valid as those of you who have gotten a lot from his content and you love his conversations and stuff like that. So I have an issue with invalidating them as just being another messed up, twisted group of people that can't handle the truth or whatever else. And I also have a problem with charging Black women with the responsibility to continuously take the moral high road and be the bigger person. Like, they're always held to that responsibility. Black women march for us as Black men whenever we die at the hands of police brutality, but vice versa, when a Black woman is killed, they get silence at best. Sometimes they even get, what did she do to deserve that? And when it comes to being a parent, a lot of Black women are left to raise a child by themselves and blamed for choosing a man that left them to raise that child by themselves. So not only do they have to pick up the slack and make it make sense to this child and take on the responsibility when they didn't make that child by themselves, but they're blamed for it. And then, you got a lot of Black women who have to heal themselves from the traumas that we as men impose on them. And then now we're telling them that, hey, when a person that represented trauma and degradation to you and humiliation to you and mockery to you, and projecting a lot of unworthiness onto you, when that person can no longer do that, bite your tongue or else you're a bad person, I think it's unfair and invalidating. But that's just on that end of things. For me personally, how I feel about Kevin Samuels passing, and for those who don't know, the history is there. For years before he really blew up, he was saying my name and he just didn't agree with my content, and some people don't, which is cool. And then I also voiced that I didn't agree with his. We didn't know each other personally. We were supposed to have some type of debate/discourse at one point. It just fell through. But whenever I got wind of him passing away, I was deeply saddened. really genuinely, deeply saddened. He never said anything enough about me to be happy that he's gone or anything like that. But I was saddened because, first off, it's a reminder it could be any of us. It could be any of us. So you ain't got to like Kevin Samuels or whatever, but death don't discriminate. With the young, old, good, bad, don't matter. Okay, so it was a reminder that, at any point in time, this life that we have can be taken from us. And then secondly, because before he was a content creator or a YouTuber, he was somebody's baby. And his mother lost her baby a few days before Mother's Day. And that's sad in itself. Not only that, he was a successful person, and everybody's family has that one person that can change the whole trajectory of their family. I'm that for my family. I know others that are that for their family. I feel like he was that for his family, and that just got cut off. So there was a lot of people that was likely impacted by him being gone in multiple ways, beyond just his mom, but his family, his friends, and so on and so forth. But thirdly, and I want to say this, as a content creator, I think a lot of people don't understand that we can get a lot of likes, a lot of views, and all of that stuff, but we have to really grow into the impact that we have. We don't quite get it. Even though Kevin Samuels was a little bit older, he was still very young in his content creation. I think one and a half, 2 years or something like that. And even though what he was putting out, I don't agree with. I'm gonna be straight up with you. A lot of it anyway. Some of the stuff I do, but a lot of his approach, I don't agree with. But I looked at it like, man, he wasn't done. And his microphone got cut off before I feel like he really got to what maybe he was trying to do, just based on more recent interviews of what he said that he was hoping to do for the Black community and for relationships in general, and having people be more self-aware. I feel like what he had put out, one, didn't effectively do that as much as maybe he wanted, but he wasn't done. And even if you look at somebody like Jay-Z, so for those who don't know, Jay-Z is a famous rapper or whatever. Jay-Z said he regrets making his song Big Pimpin' that he made early on in his career, one of his biggest hits. Google it. He said he regretted making Big Pimpin'. And if you look at his content now, his rapping now, he's talking about art. He's talking about his wife and his children. He's talking about generational wealth. Like, he grew into his voice, his content creation, his impact. Again, even me, I've been doing this now about 8 years as far as the video content goes. And I'll have some people, I see them say, oh, I don't like how you did this. I don't like how you said that. And sometimes I'll be like, I don't like it. Because I said it at a time where I was still growing into my voice. And I still am, even 8 years in. And in Kevin Samuels, I look at like, man, as a content creator, no, I don't agree with his approach. And I don't agree with some of the things that he did for what I felt like anyway was clicks and views. But that's besides the point. I feel like he still wasn't there in terms of having the intended impact that he wanted. And he was still trying to grow into that. It's just me now. I'm projecting, in a sense, a bit.
So yeah, that's what he had to say. If you want to hear the whole thing, you can go over to his Instagram page, Derrick Jaxn. You guys know he spelled Jackson Jaxn. So yeah, he's saying that he feels that Kevin was still growing. Yeah, when you're thinking him really having probably the type of success that he was really working for about a year, um, he was still growing. But see, I'm just not that person. I feel like Kevin Samuels probably could have also gotten to that point without doing all of the craziness, right? The demeaning, the degrading, without making up stuff and changing up, twisting up facts, and trying to make things sound like what he's saying makes sense. A lot of this stuff about people's looks is really childish at the core of it. It's childish. And like someone else was saying, I think during Cynthia G's live, or I don't know whose live I was watching, but somebody was saying, a lot of people just fell into him because they wanted to see him humiliating people. And I said that before as well. And I said that the majority of his audience was not Black, because they do love to see that bickering going back and forth, a Black man belittling his own people, right? And just the shock of it, right? Because other groups don't do this. You can't point to another group of people where they're sitting and they're berating their women. And whenever you ask Black men about this, they can't give you the answer to why that is. Okay. Um, outside of slavery, because we know it's a slave mentality that people feel like they are less than other people, right? And they don't know how to correct these mindsets and this behavior. And at 56, it's not for me to do that for you. I can't do that for you. Whoever you are, that's who you are. You just got to deal with that. But I don't have to deal with it. And that's my point. Like, we as women, we don't have to tolerate that. I don't have to excuse it either. That was always my point. And then he also said some very, very disturbing things as well that people are not touching on, like telling. I think one of the videos is circulating right now where he told that girl um, to not listen to her child when she's telling her that the man that she has in her house was touching her. That's highly, highly disturbing. That's crossing all kind of lines. That's crossing into to conversations that he shouldn't even be having. He's not even qualified to have that conversation. And I don't think people get that. Like, it's some of that stuff y'all can sit there and say, oh, it's funny, he calling somebody Big Shirley and he calling somebody this, until he turns some of that nonsense towards you, right? It's always funny until somebody talking about you. Um, but some of that stuff that he was saying was highly disturbing as well. Because I think I even did the video, and I know Tanya TKO and Nyla says, and a bunch of other people touched on that. Goldie, she was the one who put the petition together to try to get him off of YouTube. Um, when he was saying he was promoting domestic violence. Women should be getting domestic spankings or whatever he was, whoopings or whatever the hell he was over there saying. I don't know, because I wasn't paying him no attention like that. I was listening to other women and other people reporting on the stuff that he was over there saying, and then the whole thing I made the video on when he said that men don't need women. Men don't need women. No, that's not funny. Men don't need women. All they need you for is your womb. Because he said back in whatever days, I don't know if he was saying Greek mythology, he was talking to a Caucasian lady and she was sitting there looking, puzzled and like, but she was going to let him fly with whatever foolishness he was running. Um, Men don't need women because they had those little boys. Like, he said that came out of his mouth. And we all ran the video. I ran the audio because he had already put a strike on my page, right? And I'm not going to reach out him to. I wasn't going to reach out to him. What I'm going to reach out to him and say, "Oh, let me use this video so I can tell your ass off." Like, no, I'm not going to reach out to you to ask you that. Like, we're not doing that, okay? So I just used the audio, but a lot of people use the clip. It is out here. It's all over YouTube. That he literally said that they had those little boys. So that's you promoting pedophilia. Okay. So yeah, he said a lot of disturbing stuff as well. People are now, for whatever reason, wanting to touch her. I know he's gone, and y'all feel bad. Uh, um, but that's why I would say I really like what that lady Irene said. People should worry about their character more than they worry about their reputation. Because how you leave, we don't know. Like Derrick just said, and I said this as well. We all don't know when we're going to leave here. That's a very real statement. And we don't know nothing else. We don't know when our time is up, and it could be up for at any moment for any of us. And people just take life for granted in that way. Um, but my relationship is good with God, so that's how I feel about it. And hopefully his was. I don't know because I don't know him. He said a lot of disturbing things to me, very dark and disturbing. And I'm gonna keep it real about that. I'm not gonna lie about that. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because he's gone. A lot of people are gone. And they did a lot of effed up stuff. That doesn't change the story simply because they're now gone. Like Derrick said, if he would have cleaned up all of that stuff, then that would have been a different story. He did not. He didn't get the opportunity to clean it up. Um, and I don't even know how you clean up saying some stuff like that and telling some woman not to believe her child when her child is telling her that some man touched her. Like that was going way too far. Like I said, he's not even qualified to have that conversation. Um, I don't know. We're all gonna leave here. People should worry about how they're leaving here before they go. Don't think that people are supposed to now just say, oh, he didn't really mean that. We don't know what that man meant. We don't know what he was doing, at the end of the day. And as far as the young lady, God bless her, because honey, these people about to they about to run you in the ground for these clicks and these views about you being up at this man's apartment. She said, so I'm assuming she made the statement that she's going to hire a lawyer. She's going to start coming after people that are making up stuff about her. Because, like I said, the police haven't put anything out here about this girl being under investigation for anything. Um, so, I mean, people, they're creating the stories that they want to create. I think Dr. Umar is even over there saying whatever, but yeah, if you don't have any evidence to prove that she had anything to do with his demise, then that's not, something that I'm not getting ready to fall into all of that. And I think that it's traumatizing enough that she was even there having to deal with that at 32 years old. Who's to say, even though she's a nurse, that she's ever witnessed anything like that before, right? Just because she's a nurse do not mean that that's so, because it just depends on where she was working, or where she works, I should say. But let me know what you guys think about what Derrick had to say in his comments about he was still growing. He had the opportunity to turn around. I think everybody has the opportunity to turn around, turn things around, and to do better. But we shouldn't take life for granted in the same breath. You should try to walk as right as you can, while every day that you get up. Like that's what they used to say. I don't know what they're telling people, what they're teaching people now, but you should be waking up trying to live right when you wake up. That you're blessed to get up, because some people are not blessed to wake up every day. So, all this stuff about you waiting 20 years to change things around, like, what if you're not here in 20 years? It's just like I was saying, it is ironic that I was saying that about Dr. Umar in that school. Like, he's of a particular age as well. Like, who's to say you're going to be here down the line while you still collecting all this money about this school that still you don't have a date for? Because we are of a particular age. And like I said, our life expectancy is not no 100 years old or anything like that. We're expected to live till 74 on average, and for the African American community. A lot of Black people deal with hypertension and other diabetes and other, issues. And so, you should not think that you have time to change things around, right? While you saying all this fool ass stuff, you shouldn't be out here saying it, especially if you don't mean it. Especially something like that, telling this woman not to believe her child. Like, that was highly, highly disturbing. Even to the lady that he was talking to. And I think that somebody was saying that an investigation was opened up behind that. I don't know. This is all allegedly. I know that people were reporting him all the time to YouTube and reporting him to Instagram, because his Instagram went down one time. I don't know if people remember that. His Kevin Samuel's Instagram went down, and he finally got it back because of the type of stuff that, some of that stuff, it really crossed lines. I don't even know why people think that stuff like that is funny. I really don't. It's highly disturbing. It's nothing cute about you being self-loathing, because if you dislike the Black woman and you're a Black man, you dislike yourself. That's pretty much what you're saying. You really don't like yourself, right? Because more than likely you came from a Black woman if you're Black. Um, anyway, let me know what you guys think about what Derrick had to say, and when you think about the 911 call and this young lady. Now she's the focus of all these YouTubers and people who want to make her the center of a story. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.